I have just returned from the 2013 Porsche Roadshow event where I got to experience the entire Porsche lineup at the track. This included the newest 911, the Cayman S, Boxster, Cayenne, and the Panamera. It was an amazing experience, and for car enthusiasts, a weekend doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So let's start with the Cayenne. Instead of doing round trips to the local Safeway, Porsche had us following each other around an off-road course. It was meant to demonstrate the Cayenne's off-road capabilities beyond what you would normally get in a test drive. So was it fun? No, not terribly. My driving partner Corey and I spent the entire time dreaming of the on-road paved course, especially in the 911 and the Caymans. But did I learn anything about the Cayenne? Absolutely. For starters, its off-road capabilities are more than just skin deep. With the right selection of buttons, the Cayenne practically drives itself off-road. Descending crazy steep hills? No problem. Navigating big rocks at funny angles? Piece of cake. In fact, you could take this car on a hiking trail. Not to mention going full throttle, uphill, off-road, in someone else's Cayenne. Oh man. Oh yeah. And when we returned to the paved road course to do laps, the Cayenne was even more impressive there, especially the GTS model. There's a breadth of ability here that goes far beyond its soccer mom image. After a few laps in the GTS, I'd actually stopped thinking about the fact that I was lapping in an SUV. And after lunch, the fun really began, starting with the braking exercise in the 911 Turbo S. Like most driving exercises involving cones, I managed to knock over nearly every single one of them.
All the cones, it's good for your video.
After embarrassing myself in the new Turbo, I did some laps around the autocross circuit in the newest Boxster S. My co-driver, Porsche instructor and legendary racer Case Neerup. The newest Boxster felt so light and responsive, and its body was so stiff that I forgot it was a soft top. While I prefer the steering to be heavier, there's no denying its surgical precision or the way it slices through the corners. As a tool to attack a parking lot full of cones, it doesn't get a whole lot better than the new Boxster S.
And right, and find the box. Find the box, controlled, and brake, stop in the box. You're outside the box. Damn. No swearing.
And finally, after an entire day of waiting, I got to experience the Cayman and 911 on a circuit. Yes! The following is a complete lap in the Carrera, but I'll share my thoughts about both. At the risk of sounding like Captain Obvious, I think the new 911 and Cayman are the absolute benchmark for what premium driver's cars should feel like in 2013. But driving each 911 and Cayman variant back to back has given me some special insight, and now I have picked my favorites. For the absolute best driver interactivity, it had to be the newest Cayman S. It had the sharpest turn-in and the lightest feel. Its steering and throttle work together to give options to the driver, and by that I mean you can constantly trim your line using the controls, and the car responds so intuitively and obediently. The Cayman encourages you to brake late, turn in hard, clip the apex, and get back on the power early. It is such a brilliant dance partner. Coming in a close second for driving fun was the Carrera S. The power differences between it and the Cayman were small enough for me not to care, but it isn't quite as well balanced as the Cayman. Under braking and turning, I really felt the mass of the engine in the rear, and the entire chassis isn't quite as obedient. And let's be honest, the 911 will always win over the Cayman for desirability despite its foibles. Even if the rear seats aren't quite for adults, it's still got a much more open feeling cabin than the Cayman. And those classic 911 looks, I hate to be shallow, but they do make a difference. And just to show you how awesome the Carrera S is, I'm going to share with you a hot lap driven by one of the Porsche instructors. Look at how late he brakes, how hard he turns in, how much slip he gets from the tires. This car is like putty in his hands. And it just goes to show you, modern Porsches have so much grip and power that to exploit them in any meaningful way, you need a big open track, balls of steel, and the driving abilities of this guy.
Oh, beauty.
myself to giggling like an idiot.
Ah, nice!
We all wish for a 911, and we all wish to be able to drive it like this guy. So at the conclusion of the 2013 Porsche Roadshow event, what have I learned? Well, for starters, Porsche has now ushered in a new generation of 911 and Cayman sports cars, ones that are far more approachable than ever before. With the new Lighten steering and a PDK transmission, they are far easier to get into from owners of Cayennes and Panameras and other luxury brands. It is far more user-friendly. But at the same time, have they alienated the older Porsche owners, the ones coming from 997s and 987 Boxsters and Caymans? Well, the new steering system is a bit lighter, but it is no less precise. In fact, it is so much more surgical than before. No, it's not going to have the same kind of feedback as a hydraulic system, but as a tool with which to attack corners, it is completely unparalleled. So what does it mean for owners coming from starter enthusiast cars like the S2000 and Miatas and BRZs and FRSs? Well, if they get into a new Cayman or 911, they're going to experience a level of refinement and polish and chassis sophistication that they probably never experienced before. And that's a really wonderful thing, especially when you're spending that much more money. The newest 911 and Cayman are a magnificent achievement, and I would not hesitate to recommend them to any car enthusiast.